Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman back with a game, this time between Syrius26, playing what looks to be Underdepths split with Monks. Interesting choice. Alright, we got smachnio over here playing full faction Kathir Forest, boldly deciding to rush mid-font with Warcaller Fjorn. I mean, Warcaller Fjorn's pretty intimidating to fight in melee combat. If Syrius decides to engage him as such, he might be in for a world of pain, but the Swift Current, currently in ranged form, empowering its attacks. So we'll have to deal with the heavy charger coming in here, but smachnio a little bit going to be behind in Nora, seeing as how he has not gotten his font yet. Forest Lurper, it's been a while since I've seen a Forest Lurper. I'm so glad. I'm actually really glad these things fell out of favor. Now that they don't have Startle. Back in, I think it was like a year ago, they used to have Startle on base instead of Enrage, and they would just come out of stealth with like 25 damage and one-shot you with Pounce. And it was a pain in the ass. I did not enjoy playing against those. But now that they just have Enrage, it's sort of fine. He doesn't even have Pounce on these. He has Stealth and Enrage. Alright, well, we'll see if maybe he can sneak that top font from Syrius right under his nose. Fjorn actually going to charge into the Halberd, which Swift Current uses basically to block that charge there, so he didn't take that 22 damage to the face. But I don't know, I feel like that was not really worth it on the part of Syrius. Like, he could have gotten in the font, he had 7 speed, and then he has Elusive Leap as well, so he could have just dodged the charge, right? So, and, you know, Fjorn couldn't have double attacked if he was sitting here, so... I don't know, I feel like it was kind of a waste of 30 Nora. The Halberd is definitely something you want, like, sitting in the back, guarding a font, maybe. Especially against this Lurper that goes stealthed. So, we got 2 Farron, and the Swift Current in play currently. So, the Underdepths half of Monks. I'm trying to think, I know there's Deep Elf Monk. And I know there's, what other monks are there in UD? I think, is Shadow? No, Shadow Rake's not a monk, is he? I'm pretty sure Syrius is just running the split with UD for the spells and stuff, like the support runes. Filling the champion slots with stuff like Farron instead. So I guess on that side you get a lot more damage. Like, you'd get superiority, you'd get, price of victory, maybe secret meeting. Potentially be useful, pulling your multi-attackers into range, or your portal walkers getting relocated and stuff. But Swift Current currently here going to get a couple attacks off on Fjorn, pulling everybody closer. Unfortunately for him, he does need to get into the font here with the Pouncer. Okay, that's a little weird how that worked. It actually pulled the Pouncer this way, and then on the second attack it pulled him right back. So Pouncer actually gets an 18 damage. What was that? Oh yeah, that was the Portal Walker ramping up its damage. So it actually got like 3 stacks of Portal Walker there from getting relocated twice by Swift Current, and then once more by the swap. So pretty nice damage even through the block. And Menelaus coming in here for smachnio for some artillery support. And now I think Warcaller Fjorn's he's kind of in trouble. I feel like smachnio should maybe do something like a protection to, to keep his Fjorn alive, because he's just going to get triple attacked again. And once this Wanderer comes in with Majestic, he's not going to have a good time. So there goes the Hibernate. So Fjorn currently stealthed, sleeping off his injuries, but the problem is he made a couple attacks beforehand, so Syrius knows exactly where he is. I feel like that would have been better for smachnio if he just hibernated immediately and then walked off, towards the back or to the side over here. Because now, I mean, he's not going to get the regen benefit at all. He's just going to get dead. That's what he's going to get. So this Wanderer can attack. The Pouncer can hit twice. Once, actually, through block. I forgot he has block 2 instead of block 1. So he's not quite dead, but, with 6 damage and 11 HP, he's not going to be doing much. Oh, never mind. Forgot about... yeah, he did die. Yeah, I was just confused out of my mind all along. So he is definitely dead from the 3 hits there. And Syrius wisely choosing to deploy Thunder Fist over here. We're not sure where that Lurper has gone sneaking to yet. But we can be reasonably certain that he moved the Lurper this way, since Mena is contesting at the moment. And you wouldn't really want to throw Menelaus into like a melee situation like this. if you had the stealth backup Lurper lurking around here. So I'm thinking Lurper, like with 8 speed, right? So the Lurper is almost certainly going to be able to get into this font either this turn or the next turn. And looks like smachnio is holding off a bit. I'm pretty sure he could have got in there last turn, right? Or, well, yeah, his last turn. But maybe he's waiting for Thunderfist to move out of the way a bit. There's a Mind Slicer Boomerang. Okay, so there's the Lurper. So he was close. I don't know why. Like, he had the AP to move over here. He should have had the AP to move into the font, but he chose not to. And now he's just going to get Scepter bonused into this bush that he positioned himself against. That's kind of unlucky, actually. A nicely done Mind Slicer Boomerang there, actually, serving as sort of like a pseudo-detect option. So the Thunder Fist, and the thing is, with that burn on there, he's not going to be able to re-stealth. He will get a couple nice hits for 40 damage with his enrage off. But after that, he's kind of screwed. So Menelaus getting run down over here by these rats, these snow rats. And he's already on 22 HP too. Things are not looking good for smachnio currently. Garu Hunter. I was going to say Garu Hurler. But I've been running some Garu Hurler myself. That's sort of why he's on the mind at the moment. But the Hunter currently in play with Blitz and Protective. I don't know why he has Protective. This is definitely not a Garu deck for smachnio. Maybe this is the Hunter that he runs in his Garu deck. And he just forgot to switch upgrades between matches or something? I don't know. But a Vortex sweeping away that Farron Wanderer, sending him off to the Wizard... oh, God. I was going to make a Wizard of Oz reference, like how Dorothy was swept on the tornado off to the land... Oh, yeah, it's called the Land of Oz, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's called the Land... Yeah, so Farron Wanderer gets swept off by the Vortex to the Land of Oz. And Thunderfist... lands the last hit there to grab a nice juicy globe for himself. Lonk's Missionary coming in. I don't know if Lonk's Missionary is really worth it. Just for a healer? I mean, he's not even that good of a healer. He has Heal Champ 3, and he has Cleanse, but ST is not one for lacking Cleanse. Maybe it's like I feel like you could have run like another monk in there or something, right? Like the Farron Dancer, I think, has Heal Mass if you wanted healing. Or even the Farron Snow Whisperer has some pretty good healing as well, despite the drawback of Merciful. So I don't know about Missionary, but seems like Swift Current is getting his ass beat by that Protective Hunter at the moment. So a bit of a damage ramp there, and Menelaus is just going to sit in the back, Healing Mind. Ooh, and Nature's Wrath brings him down to 1. Funny thing is, if he would have cast that Nature's Wrath before his attacks, he would have actually got the kill because Nature's Wrath reduces defense. So, as it is, though, Swift Current is currently on 1 HP and will be able to get a double hit. So, not a very efficient use of Nora here for smachnio. So there goes the Cleanse and probably Heal Champ as well. So, barring any weird spells like Escape Magic or anything, that Hunter is almost certainly dead, and smachnio with only Menelaus to his name will not be doing too well against the army of rats here. I don't even think Syrius needs any spell support to get rid of this Hunter because of Swift Current. I think Swift Current, like, honestly, this ability is just straight up broken. Like, if it were in like a more popular or even a better theme, it would probably get nerfed like 100 times over. Sort of like how Tailwind did for the flying theme, but because nobody really plays monks, like the deck is kind of tricky to pilot, so. The ability just never got its deserved whap with the bat. But I don't know, I've always thought this ability was kind of crazy, because it's basically like a pull for all of your champions, and then they also gain AP if they're a monk, which, I mean, why would you not run monks, right? With this guy. I mean, that's sort of all he does, I guess. You could sort of make that argument, but if I were redesigning this ability, I would probably make it a little more balanced. But as it stands, it currently does tie the deck together pretty well. smachnio currently only with the Menelaus, as mentioned, and so he's not having a good time. I'm wondering if what a Gale? Sorry, what? Excuse me? Gale Force to move the Menelaus away. I'm guessing he wanted... I mean, Mena wasn't in the font, so it's not like he did that just for the AP loss. I'm betting he did that just to save his Pouncer from a double tap and death. But, I mean, I think of Mena... Like, Mena had zero AP, right? So if he wanted to get into the font, he would have had to forego the kill. And I think, honestly, I think having Mena double tap and force smachnio to drop a relic in the font, for example, would have been a fine trade for the loss of the Pouncer at this stage, because that's more Nora that smachnio would not be able to spend on champions. But he did deploy Rage of the Circle, so he's going to have some backup coming, ineffective though it may be. I haven't actually seen Rage of the Circle played since its changes. Like, I mean, like Rorschach was talking about how removing Limbo made it so much better, but I still never really see it in play. I think people are still taking a while to get used to it, or maybe they just didn't even realize it was changed in the first place. It has Devotee now, and still has Manic, but Vulnerable... I think Vulnerable used to be one of the upgrades to lower its cost. Honestly, I think that's something that should be done more. I feel like negative abilities on upgrades for the benefit of either theme reasons or lowering a champion's Nora cost is an interesting choice, balance-wise. I feel like we could do more of that just to diversify things a little bit, rather than have a champion pick like from a selection of upgrades that are all good all the time. But, Artillery Marker here from smachnio, who currently actually wins the font. Man, that Gale Force would be really nice right now, knocking the Rage into the Artillery Marker and destroying it. But maybe Syrius runs 2. We'll see a second. We could see a second Gale Force here, but it looks like he's just going to go for the kill on Mena, which is just fine as well. Sacrifice coming down, so a lot of Nora going back here for Syrius, and I think Swap is still on cooldown, so he won't be able to swap and get around the marker that way. There's a second Mind Slicer Boomerang actually, which completely ravages that Mena for 22 damage. So very nice. Mind Slicer Boomerang is honestly, if I were running UD, I probably wouldn't run it, just because I like having all my champions at full HP. It's sort of like an OCD thing of mine that if my champion isn't at full HP, it really bugs me. So if I have like a field full of champions that have all taken like 2 or 3 damage, it's not pretty to look at. So it's a terrible idea. Nobody do that. But if you want to, you should run Mind Slicer Boomerang. It's just something that irks me when that happens. So a Rejuvenation Ring here. smachnio has made a couple weird moves this game, but Rejuvenation Ring will heal up the Rage a tiny bit. It doesn't let him get a kill though. Like I guess he could have transfigured and hit with his avatar for a kill, but I mean that would just put him in an even bigger Nora hole. Lonx Missionary bravely sacrificing his HP there to rid the font of the menace of that artillery marker, walking into the landmines. So there's and he actually goes for the cleanse. Actually, he did that for he put Cleansing Emerald. Okay, so this is another reason why I think Missionary is a weird choice. If you're going to run Emerald for cleanse, that sort of defeats the purpose of running Missionary for cleanse, right? Yeah, I feel like the wind. What was it? The Snow Whisperer would definitely be a better healer and support rune there in that department. But the cleanse there actually allows the Pouncer to win that font with a swap. So Syrius currently has all 3 fonts, and then the split personality on the Rage just to add insult to injury, disallowing the kill on that Missionary. So smachnio currently definitely on the back foot right now, deploys a Wisp to try and get that font back, but does not have a relic to drop into it. So Syrius will have it for at least a turn, and at this point I would probably expect smachnio to surrender, because he's going to lose that Rage this turn, almost certainly. And then Syrius just has, the world is Syrius's oyster here right now. He can deploy at this font to block the Wisp, and then he can maybe even stun with the Pouncer if he can somehow get 1 extra AP. Maybe he's running that Tundra not Arctic Gift. I can't even remember the name of it. It's so bad, but it gives all your champions within 6 spaces 1 AP on deployment. But nobody ever really runs it. It's terrible. So the Rage of the Circle going down here to the Silent Master, who he took Logistics to make him cheap. Nice. So logistics here, I don't know. I feel like Scrapper is sort of necessary on this thing, because this is another one of a monk deck's sort of linchpins, I guess you could say. Him and the Swift Current really bring the deck together really well. So if the Silent Master ever dies, it's kind of you're probably not in a good place. And Scrapper is really nice protection too. Although the meta has seen sort of a shift towards precision champions of late. There's been a lot of people running stuff with precision just to counter stuff like No Kondo and the occasional dodge, or elusive leap champion, or just elusive in general. And there's the DC from Smachnio. Good old Smachnio, always the friendly sportsman-like player that we know him to be. So I'm betting, I'm almost certain that that's not an accidental DC. So I'm probably, if he doesn't end up coming back within a bit of time, I'm probably just going to end the recording and give the win to Syrius. Because honestly, from this position, I mean, like, you can try to come back, but trying is the first step to failure. So I mean, there's really not much Smachnio can do here. So he could contest with the Wisp, but the Halberd is here, and Syrius has just steamrolled this game sort of. But it was a nice demonstration of the power that UD can add to the monk deck. And yeah, it's a shame that we didn't get to see any deep elf monks in play. But maybe the next time I catch a Syrius game. But we'll just give it a few more seconds here on the off chance that it does happen to be an accidental DC on the part of Smachnio. But yeah, Syrius, I think he was talking earlier in the Discord about putting together this deck and how it's actually been working pretty well. I guess my assumption was correct at the start, that he really only runs the UD side for the spell support. But yeah, Cleansing Emerald, currently back with Savage Tundra and Kathir Forest. And I'm so sad for Shattered Peaks. Like, they lost Emerald, they lost their only source of on-demand cleanse. Merely because a bunch of UD babies were whining about how we're the only Wrath faction without spot cleanse. Blah, blah, blah. They're like, well, we just because one faction doesn't have something doesn't mean another faction can't have something. But I don't know. SP does have the Crystal Slag now to sort of compensate, but it's not on deploy cleanse or spot cleanse, as you'd say. They have cleanse options, of course. Oh, and there we go. The game did my job for me. So well played to both, and we'll see everyone in the next one.